Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video I'll be teaching you how we can create a slideshow animation in Hitfilm Express. So let's take a look at what we'll be creating today. Alright guys, let's start our tutorial. Open up your Hitfilm Express, and from the template I'll choose 1080p at 60 frames per second. Then click on start compositing. And my workspace is set to compositing. You can click on this icon, and from this list you can select compositing and also uncheck the trimmer option to hide the trimmer window. So as you may have seen in the preview, we'll be basically creating a 3x3 grid slideshow animation. So we'll be using 9 images in total to create our animation. You can obviously use a video if you want to instead of an image. You can do that, but for this tutorial I'll just import my images inside Hitfilm Express. And just for the sake of organization, I'm just going to create a new folder and name it images. I'm just going to select all these images and drag it into this folder. I'll also create a comp folder. I'll just call it comp1, and I'll also create a comp2 folder. Alright, I'll just rename this comp shot1 to main, as this will be our main composite shot. I'm just going to put this composite shot in my comp1 folder. So just go to your images folder and just drag in your image. So this image right here will be your first slideshow image, your first main image of your slideshow. So you can just go into transform and scale it down if you want to. And once you do that, you just have to right click on that layer on your image and click on make composite shot, and this window will open up. Just rename it to anything you want to. I'm just going to rename this to image comp, and we have these options here. So the first option, you just select this one that says selected layer. On the second option that says mask effects and transform properties, on that one we just select this one that says move with layer. Make sure that these two options are selected, and then click on OK. And as you can see, we have this transparent background. It's because for some reason, if I just go to my composite shot properties, you can see the template automatically changes to 1440p or sometimes changes to 4K as well, depending on the size of image. So just make sure that it is at 1080p at 60 frames per second, then click on OK. So the reason we created a composite shot is because if you decided to at any point if you decided to like change the image, or if you decided to use a video instead of an image, you can just double click on your image comp and it will take you to that comp, and then you can just simply replace that image. And if you just go to your main comp, you can see that your image will be replaced. So this is the reason why we created that composite shot. Now let's go back to our main comp and create a new point layer. I'll just call it point 1, and I'll just parent this image comp layer to that layer, point 1 layer. So now the changes that you make to your point 1 layer will also be affected on your image comp. So let's move forward in time to around 1 second forward and create a scale keyframe. Let's move to 2 seconds and set the scale to let's do 35%. So you have this basic animation going on. I'm going to select these 2 keyframes, convert it to manual bezier, then go into value graph. So I'm going to select this handle and just drag it to the right like that, and select this handle as well and just drag it to the right somewhere over here, and you'll have this sort of animation. Now let's duplicate our image comp layer and just bring it on the left side like that, duplicate it again, and this time we'll bring it to the right side just like that. And I'm just going to arrange these layers properly. So you can see if I just click on this layer, you can see it's highlighted and it's in the middle. I want it to be at the top like that, followed by the one in the middle and the last. Again, I'm going to duplicate these layers and I'll just put it at the top like that, and I'm just going to drag it to the top using this arrow controller over here. And now let's see if they are properly organized. Yeah, they are. So I'm just going to select these three, duplicate them and put them at the top, and let's bring it down like that, and let's see if they are properly organized. Yes, they are. So I'm going to select these first three composite shots and drag it on the bottom, and like I'm just trying to organize things right here, so just double check it, and yes, they are organized. So now we have this kind of animation. All right, now let's center our animation. As you can see, it's not properly centered. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new plane layer, call it center, and the color is going to be black, and click on OK. I'm going to go to Effects tab and search for 1080p tile shape guide effect and apply it on this layer, and that will give you this center point, and we can just center up our images. And let's bring down its opacity a bit to like 60 just to see what's going behind it. And now I'm just going to select all these comp layers. So as you can see, it's properly centered right in the middle, and I'm just going to hide my center layer for now. So you can see that there at the edges, you can see these images right here from the left and the top as well. So we will fix it, but I'll just keep it as it is for now. I'll just fix that at the end when I finish my animation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all these. Let's do one thing. Let's just try to change the image here. So if I go to my 2-second mark, so the way this should have worked is if I can just double click on my image comp layer and then go to my media panel and just drag in another image, it should have changed in the image comp. It does change, but it changes all the images in all the composite shot images. So we don't need that. We just want to change this single image. So to do that, we just have to use the the media panel, and we'll be basically using the media panel and sort of create duplicates of our composite shot. So here is my image composite shot. I'll just duplicate it, right click and click on duplicate, and I'll just rename this to 1, as this will be our first image. I'm just going to double click on it, and it'll open up in a new timeline, and here we can just delete this image and drag in another image. Go to the images folder and just drag in this one. Go to transform and scale it down if you want to. And now I'll go to my main comp. I'll just select this comp, the one composite shot, put it below my 0.1 layer. So, make sure you parent it to the 0.1. Now let's go to the layer which is below our one composite shot, which is this one. I'll just expand it, go to transform. I'll copy the position, and now we can just delete this image comp layer. You can see it's selected right here. You can see this blue box right here. So this image comp will be replaced by this one composite shot, so we can just delete that. We don't need that. Now inside your one composite, go inside transform, and we can just paste the position values here and set the scale to 100%. Now as you can see, we have successfully changed our first image. Now I'm going to show you how to change the first row here, all these 3 images. So I'll be showing you how we can change these 3 images right here, and then we'll probably fast forward this video. Not going to waste your time, guys. Okay, in the media panel, let's go back to our media panel and again duplicate it, rename this to 2. This will be our second image. Double click on it, and here we can just delete this image and import a different image. I'll just go inside transform and scale it down like that, and now go into my main comp. I'll just bring this second composite shot and put it under the first composite shot and parent it to 0.1 layer. Now let's go to the layer which is below our second composite shot, which is this one. It's going to expand it, go to transform and copy the position values, and we can just delete this image comp layer. Go inside your second comp, go inside transform and highlight your position, right click and click on paste, and that will paste the position values. And don't forget to change the scale value to 100%. Now you have successfully changed your second image. Now let's change our third image. Again, we'll use the media panel and duplicate our second comp, rename it to 3, double click on it to open it up. We can just delete this image and use a new image like this one and try to scale it down. Go to main, and we can just bring this comp and put it under our second comp like that. I'll just parent it to the 0.1 layer, and now I'll go to the layer which is below it, which is this one, expand it, transform, copy the position, and I can just delete this image comp layer. I don't need that. Go to my 3 composite, expand it, and paste the position values there. Set the scale to 100%. Now you have successfully changed your third image as well. So you can probably fast forward this video just to save the time. Alright guys, I have finished replacing all these images, and this is how your timeline will look. The next step is to select all these layers, all these composite shot layers, duplicate them, and then just put this below your 0.1 layer like that. And as you can see that they decided to not stay organized. Make sure your 0.1 is followed by 1 composite shot, and then 2 followed by 3, and then 4, then image comp, then 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm just going to select the first 8 composite shots like that, and I'm just going to I'll be just duplicating them. So first of all, let's just unhide the center layer to see where the center is. So it's right here. Now I'm going to select all these first 8 composite shots like that, and right now it's at the center, so it's good, no problem with that. Now I'm just going to place these on the right side like that, somewhere over there. And now we will use our 0.1 layer and sort of create a movement from first slide to the second slide. So we'll use the position keyframe, create a position keyframe. Now move to the 3-second duration and just drag this value to the left and sort of, center it up like that. So make sure it's centered properly, somewhere over there. Looks fine. And then select these 2 keyframes, convert it to manual bezier, then go into value graph, and then let's zoom into our timeline. I'm just going to select this keyframe right here, this handle right here, and drag it to the right, and this one to the right as well, but just a bit, like somewhere over there. Looks fine. So now you will have this kind of movement going on. Alright, so now back to our timeline. Let's hide our center layer, and now we will create a zoom in effect. So I can go into my 0.1 layer, and if I just try to use the scale value here, you can see that it doesn't scale on that image that is in the middle. It scales to the other image which is on the left side, and we don't need that. We just want it to scale right in the middle on this image. And to fix that, what we will do is create a new point layer. Let's put it below our center layer, and let's call it 0.2. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to parent my 0.1 layer to that 0.2 layer, and now we will use the 0.2 layer and use its scale properties. So I'll just double click on the last keyframe to move my playhead there, create a scale keyframe, move to like 4-second mark, and then create a simple just change the scale value, just simply increase it, something like that. And now let's select these keyframes, convert it to manual bezier, then go into value graph, and we'll just bring this one to the right, this one to the right as well, create a slope like this, and let's take a look. So now let's take a look at our animation, and here we have it. So it zooms out, makes a transition to another image. Now all we have to do is change this image right here with a different one. So what I'm going to do is just going to find this image. I know that the name of this image on my timeline is image comp. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replace this image, the image comp layer, with the first composite shot. So let's do that. So I'm going to go into my comp1 folder and select the one composite shot and the image comp. I'll select both of these, right click and oops, let's select these two, and it doesn't, the right click doesn't work on that. Just make sure you highlight these two comp layers, image comp and one comp, and hit Ctrl+C on your keyboard to copy it. Highlight your image comp 2 layer and hit Ctrl+V, and that will basically paste those comp shots in comp 2 folder. I'll just rename this to 1 dash slide. Let's do second. I'm pretty bad at renaming things, and on this one I'll just rename this to image comp second, because this is our second image, you know, second transition. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on this one, 1 dash second. So we'll be basically replacing this image with the one in the middle. So just double click on that and it will take you to a new composite shot. Delete this image right here and go to the images folder and just replace it with this one. Go to transform and just scale it down like that. Go to your main comp, and now we will select this 1 dash second composite shot and just drag it and put it on top of our one composite and below our 0.1 layer. So in between these two layers, parent it to the 0.1 layer. And now let's go inside the one composite, transform, copy the position values, and we can just delete this one composite layer. Go to our 1 dash second, expand it, transform, and paste those position values there. Set the scale to 100%. And now we will have to change this one to the one in the middle to a metro station image. So again, I'm going to duplicate this image. I'm just going to double click on image comp second like that. I'll just delete this image right here and just drag in this metro station image and just try to scale it down like that. Go back to my main comp, and I'll just use this image comp second and put it above my image dash comp, which is right here. Parent it to 0.1. Go to the layer which is below it, which is right there. Just going to expand it, transform, and copy the position values. We can delete this image comp layer and go inside image comp second, transform, and paste the position values there. And set the scale to 100%. And let's take a look at our overall animation. So this is our first photo and then the second photo. Alright, that is looking fine. I need to fix few issues right here. On your first frame, you can see that we have these edges right here filled with other images, so we need to fix that. So I'll go to my 0.1 layer, expand it, and we will use the anchor point value right here. So I'm just going to bring it to the left a bit like that, try to center it, and I'm just going to move this one to the top just like that. And now I can use the scale keyframe, the first scale keyframe, and try to scale it up to like 105. Just scale it up till it disappears, those edges disappear from your scene. And now you can see that they are no longer visible, and we can just play our animation. And on this one I can just see that it's not properly aligned, our second image. So let's unhide the center plane right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all these composite shots, the first from 1 dash second to 8th composite shot, and as you can, when you select it, you'll get this anchor point here. So you can clearly see that it's not in the middle, so we'll try to bring it in the middle. Just try to align it in the center like that, and that's all that you have to do to align it. Let's hide this center layer, we don't need that to be visible. So let's take a look at our animation, and there we go guys. That's how easy it is to create this slideshow animation. I hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope you learned something new. If you did, please do consider leaving a like and also subscribing to this channel, as it took a lot of time and patience to create this tutorial. Other than that, thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one guys. Peace.